Hey YouTubers and gamers, I'm back, and it's my last video for a year, and I'd like to say Happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone who supports the channel. I really appreciate your support. I know I don't make that many videos, and you know, for some people, they, you know, they're used to weekly videos, but I used to do that, but it just became too much. And at the end of the day, this is just my hobby, and I've got enough time to do a video once a month. Family comes first, followed by work and other commitments, and I like to have a bit of time to play games after all. So monthly videos is what you get, and so it suits me, and hopefully it suits most of you guys anyway. But anyway, just do the game for the video, I should say. Yeah, name the game. This is a real tough one actually. It's a really old game. Angry Video Game Nerd James Rolfe did do a video of this, and so it's a bit of a curveball actually. For the first word, general, think laterally when it comes to general, okay? With erection, this is one of the most, I don't think of another word for that, but so much think when you think of that word, what game comes to mind first of all? It's one of the most, I guess it's a very unique game to have this as such a in-your-face type feature. I don't want to say any more because I'll give the whole game away, but it's a really old school game, and I'm sure most people into retro gaming and stuff would have heard of it. I think it's quite a rare game by many standards, but it's not particularly one people will want to own anyway. But still, just think of a very old retro game that's got a bit of notoriety around it, okay? But no other clues than that, alright? So if anyone gets that, I'll be really pleased. Okay, on to pickups. It's going to be a relatively small pickup video today, because I'm going to feature something else on the second half. But on the first half, I've got a few pickups to show you. Like everyone else, Christmas coming, you've got you know, bills are still there, and you know, you've got to get presents for a kid, haven't you? So there are other priorities for the limited funds that you get. So so let me show you what I've got. Okay. As we know, on the Switch, Smash Brothers Ultimate Edition came out, and I managed to lucky enough to get a pre-order in for the Ultimate Edition here in the UK, because you get the game, you get the GameCube style controller and the adapter. Now, people remember from the Wii U, these items, especially the Wii U adapter, sold out pretty quickly, and they got scalped and all sorts. So, conscious of that, I made sure I pre-ordered this quite early, and to be honest, it was about 80 quid from Amazon for all those bits, so it's quite a good price considering what you get. And when it came like this, and I thought, oh, it will just be a box and all the things, you know, inside it, you know, just loosely put in, but it's actually nicely presented. Let me show you. You open it up, and this is what you get. You get all the main characters on the top, like a roster, like a in-game menu almost, which is nicely. And if you pre-ordered it for Amazon, a few days after it came, obviously you get the game, but also they sent you a copy of a steel book. And you put them together in there, they sort of squeeze in there, they do. So you take that out, and beneath it, nicely presented again, is the accessories. Yeah. So I thought for 80 quid, that's nice. That's nice. That's really nice. A nice good deal. And I know these are quite sought after now. And if you see one for a good price, you know, obviously like Smash Brothers, I do recommend it. Let's put that away. Looks a bit rude and phallic, doesn't it? I'll sort it out later. A few days ago, I was going past my Gear on Cash converters, and going with the Smash Brothers theme, I saw and picked up this. Yes, it is the white Wii U Basic Edition with Smash Brothers included. Now, I don't know about you, but here in the UK, used Wii U's, particularly in the shops, you can get them online, yeah, fair enough, but in the shops you don't really see many of them, especially boxed and complete. This is like the first time I've seen one actually with its box for a reasonable price, and it's all complete, except it didn't have the game, but I just bought a game from CEX for 15 quid, so it is now complete. And the unit itself was it was 80 from CEX. Now you may say, oh, £80 for Wii U? That's a lot of money. Well, actually, they do keep the money, and 80 quid's not too bad, especially for a nice white one. Because I got the black Zelda one, and I've been wanting to get the white one for the collection for some time. So I've got it covered in clean film just to keep it all neat and future-proof and pristine and so forth. So another large brick, I suppose, for the collection. But no, it all works. I did test it all out, and it's all fine. So yeah, another Smash Brothers collection piece, but for 80 quid, not bad. Well, you could argue it's 95 for the game, but to be honest, that's not bad for that game, because in some shops, especially online, they want more than 15 quid for it. Anyway, I also got some books from Funstock, and there's a collection of books by Geeks Line, which are on retro game consoles, and I think they had a Kickstarter to raise the money for this. And here's the first one, which I've started to read. This is the PlayStation Anthology. It's a really large, heavy book. The page thickness is top quality, thick, glossy pages. There's about 400 pages in each book, and it covers the background to a company, in this case Sony, the history of the company, the console itself, the development, design variations, nearly the entire library of games, so that's what I mentioned just about. Well, the most prominent ones anyway, and go into great detail about those, limited editions, rarities. It's basically all the interesting bits about the entire history of that particular console. And I've just, I think I read the first 40 pages, and it's really good. It's well written, well edited, well put together, and I got this for Funstock. They're not cheap. It's 30 quid. This is a basic one. There's the limited edition one as well, but they sold out of that. And to be honest, I'm happy with a basic one. And I thought, I might as well get the others. So I got the GameCube one as well. And they sold out of the Nintendo 64 one, but they did have the collector's edition for the Nintendo 64, which comes with a nice hard outside sleeve, and I think you might get some other lithograph or something else in it as well. I'm not opening it up yet. I will do when I'm ready to read it. So those 3 books were about 100 quid in total, but trust me, online they already go for more than that, and when they are sold out, I think these will be quite sought after books, because they're just so well put together. So if you're happy to read books about games and gaming history, get these. I hope they carry on making some more. It must take a hell of a lot of time and research doing it, so I don't expect anything to come out quickly, but if they do one on a Saturn, that'd be brilliant. As well as the original Xbox and the other favourite PS2 console would be cool as well. But the Saturn, that's my number one. Please, Brit, do it on the Saturn, please, because I'd love to have a book like that on the Saturn. Okay, that's all my pickups as such. I wanted to talk a little bit about the PlayStation Classic. Now, a lot of people have been poo-pooing it because it's not perfect. It's a basic emulator. They've chosen NTSC versions over PAL, which is really nitpicking if you ask me, because you can change it if you want to. If you really care that much, you can change it. But I would have thought, if you care that much as well, you probably have the original games and other ways of playing these in the first place. So you got to remember, this is for a casual gamer, so to speak, or for collectors. And for me, when I get this unit, I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to keep it as it is, just so as the factory intended, so to speak. because I've got other means of playing this, and there's lots of choices out there, and I wanted to talk about one of those today. If you want the best way of playing PS1 games, you can obviously play it emulated on your PC or the Retro Pi. Or you can get a modded console. Now you can get the modded PS1 consoles and modded PS2 consoles. And with a PS2 console modded, at least you can you've got the hard drive, and on a modded PS1, I think you can even buy like a ISO little device so you can play ROMs that way. But you don't need to go that route. The most simplest way of doing it, which I've done through research and so forth, is to get a modded PS3. And the best choice would be to go for a PS3 Slim. You're less likely to get heat issues and so forth. Although saying that, I've still got my original PS3 with 60 gigabytes, which is ideal for playing PS2. Although with PS2 games, I have to say, is not 100% perfect. Sometimes you can get a few glitches. I must admit, I think it was like Lego the Indiana Jones, one of the Lego Indiana Jones games. You can only go play only a few chapters in, wouldn't let you go any further. And I know with my daughter, when she was when she was into Bratz, and she used to play Bratz on it, with the main character sprites, their legs were missing. They were just walking around with invisible legs. So the PS2 on the original PS3 is not perfect by any means, but it is an HDMI and it's easy and convenient. Obviously I've got PS2 consoles and everything else, so there's other ways of doing it. But with a PS3, with a modded PS3, you've got your options. You can play your retro games, but you can also play ROMs of PS1, PS2, and even PS3, of course. And let me there's enough talk. Let me show you what I've got. Okay, guys, here we've got just in this corner on this little unit are some of my more modern consoles. So on the far left, as you can see, there's a black Wii. That's my modded Wii. Next to it is the PS4, the original edition, with the VR headset device, whatever you want to call it. And beneath that there is a 5TB hard drive for my PS4. Oh, one tip for people, if you do get an external hard drive for your consoles, just be mindful that if you have a power cut, then the connection between your hard drive and your console may be corrupted. Now, I've not had a power cut for years, probably about 5 years, but then saying that, only 2 weeks ago there was a power cut when I had a PS4 on. It corrupted the connection with my 5TB hard drive, and when you go into a PS4, it tries to repair it, but I was unable to do it. So all those PS4 games that I put on the hard drive, there must have been about 4 terabytes worth, so it must have been well over, probably a couple hundred games or whatever, I don't know. They were lost. So obviously I still got a physical game, so I just had to physically put them back on again. But just be mindful that if you have a power cut, that could happen. Now I will be getting myself an extension lead that's built-in surge protection, but also a power bank. They're about 50 to 60 quid off Amazon. That way, if you do get a power cut, it goes to a backup battery, and so you've got a bit of time to safely shut down your console. So that's just something to be mindful. If you've got an external hard drive or devices, think about that little issue, okay? Because it just illustrates that having backups on the hard drives and so forth, it's not completely foolproof. Okay, next to it, I've got my modded PS3 Slim. If I zoom on it a little bit, you might notice the finish. It's like a carbon fibre skin. It's obviously got the stand, and next to it, if you can just about see, I've got a little matching. Just about to see it there, in the middle of a screen. That's it. Another 1 terabyte external hard drive for that as well. It's actually a 320 gig model on the PS3 Slim. I think, I don't know if they did a 500 gig or not. I can't remember. I think it's certainly one of the larger size PS3 Slims they do. But I also, it's always, for me, I'm thinking of burning PS3 games. you do need to have an external hard drive to realistically do it. And 1 TB is enough for most people's purposes, unless you want to put a hell of a lot more games down. But PS3, 1 TB is usually enough for most games. Next to it, I've got my modded Xbox 360 again. On that, I've shown that in the previous videos. I won't talk too much about that, but that is an excellent way of playing Xbox Live games and burnt Xbox 360 games, including the exclusives. Okay, so let's power on the PS3 and let me show you a little bit of how it is to interface with and play. Okay, pause. Okay guys, it's nothing unique. This is a normal PS3 menu. Yeah, I've just added a nice sort of PS3 themed background. You guys go into your PS3 titles here and just start at the bottom. A number of retro emulators installed with games. So you've got your Genesis, Gun Battle, which is up for Game Boy, SNES, NES, and you got Retro Arch. Now, personally, for playing retro games, I think the interface on the modded PS3s for these retro games aren't fantastic. It's rather basic, and there's a lot more choice and options on like a RetroPie. It's much nicer. If you've got a technical know-how, perhaps you mess around with it and make it a bit more similar to a RetroPie setup, but if you, like me, you're used to an Android system or a RetroPie system, which is one of the best ways of playing, or most pleasurable experience of browsing games, I would definitely say stick to a RetroPie for those older games. But to be honest, if you haven't a modded PS3, you're not doing it for so much of the retro games. It is a PlayStation library you're going for. So let's have a look at that. For PS2. The emulator you want to go to here is Mana Guns. Let me just go into that. Now while that's loading, just give it a few seconds. In total I have on my console 64 PS2 games, and I tell you, for start, but first of all, I should say my PS3 modded PS3. I did not mod it myself. I got did a bit of hunting and managed to get a guy off eBay to do it, and he was doing them for a price. Basically, to get all the PS2 games that you want on their system, which you can give them a complete list of everything you want, which is what I did. He will do it, and with your console and put the other retro emulators on and a lot of PS1 games on for you. He will do it all for, it was about £166 it was altogether, including postage, so it wasn't completely cheap. But to be perfectly honest, you're paying for his time and labour. Obviously he does lots of these, so it doesn't take him too much time, but it still takes a fair bit of time all the same, and skill and know-how. And those are certainly things I don't have, and to be honest, it's me spending days and days and many headaches trying to sort it out myself. It's not really worth it. I'm better off just paying a guy who knows what he's doing to do it, and that's what I've done. So on here, as you can see, I've got the PS2 games, and you probably can't read it too well. I'll zoom it a little bit if I can. Yeah. Okay, let's zoom in a bit more. So basically, I've got 64. In total, I've got 64 PS2 games on here. So the Bouncer, Crash Bandicoot, Crash Tag Racing, Castlevania, Curse of Darkness, Clock Tower 3, Crash Bandicoot, Wrath of Cortex, Crazy Taxi, Def Jam, Fight for New York. These Def Jam games are classic. Vendetta, Dynasty Warriors 5, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X2. I guess it's 10-2, I suppose. Fahrenheit, Fatal Fury, Gran Turismo 3, A-Spec, Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stores, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, The Getaway Black Monday, God of War, God of War 2, you've got to have those on the system, haven't you? Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Haunting Ground, Classic Ico, Jack and Daxter Lost Frontier, Kingdom Hearts 2, Lord of the Rings Return of the King, and Lord of the Rings The Third Age. Really good games, underrated games. Metal Gear Solid 2, Substance, Metal Gear Solid 3, Stank Eater, Need for Speed Underground 2, Neo Contra, Neo Battle Coliseum, Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, I should say, Onimusha 3, Obscure 1 and 2, Okami, Out 1, 2006, Coast to Coast, Project Zero 1 and Project Zero 2, Project Zero 3 with Tormented, Resident Evil Code 4, Arnica X, Resident Evil Outbreak, Outbreak File 2, Ridge Racer 5, Wolf Rose, SNK Car Arcade Classics Volume 1, Europe, Sonic Gems, Sonic Heroes, SX on Tour, Sega Classics Collections, Shadow Hearts, Shadow of Colossus, Silent Hill Shattered Memories, Silent Hill 2, 3, Star Wars Episode 3, Return to the Sith, never mind, Tekken 5, Tenchu, V-Rally, Virtual Tennis 2, and that's it. So pretty much the much better games from the PS2 library. Now, this is a minuscule percentage of the PS2 library by any standard, and I must have at least 800 PS2 games myself. But these are certainly the more interesting and likely games that anyone would want to have emulate copies on their system to play as they wish. And basically, you just install a game and it installs it onto a PS3 hard drive, a copy of it. So you come out of this, and then you go in and play your game. Installing your own PS2 games is a little bit tricky. You can't actually burn it from the PS3 itself onto the system. You can with PS3 games and PS1 games, but you can't with PS2. You've got to actually install the actual ROMs or ISO in the right location yourself. So a little bit more tricky to do. But let's come out of this. Let's go back to Xbox. Not Xbox. The PlayStation Media Bar. Okay, this just comes out of there. Okay, let's go into main. It's not emulator, because it's the operating system of sorts, I suppose. Multi-Man. Let's go into Multi-Man. Now, a lot of people, unless you've got a modded PS3, probably won't know what Multi-Man is. It's just like its own special, I guess it is like an operation. It moves a PlayStation Media Bar, but gives you a hell of a lot more options. And let's go over here to the retro game folder. And down here I have my PS1 games. So in total I have, let's have a quick look. I have 85 PS1 games. So quick go through those. Well, let's go back. Let's go for Bloody Roar, Castlevania, Dino Crisis 1 and 2, Legacy of Kain, NBA in the Zone, Alien Resurrection, Alien Trilogy, Apocalypse, Biohazard 2, Resident Evil 2, Brain Dead 1 and 2 discs, Buster Groove, Castlevania Chronicles, Chrono Cross 1 and 2 disc, Countdown Vampire game, brilliant game. You definitely want that. Crash Team Racing, Crash Bandicoot 2, Crash Bandicoot 3, Death Trap Dungeon, Destruction Derby, Diablo, Die Hard Trilogy, Digimon World 2, Guys, Einhander. Einhander's not a bad shooter. I think it's one of those shooters that's highly overrated because it's compared to the it's an expensive game. I'm not sure if it's rare, but obviously it only came out in the States, so we didn't get a UK copy. But I do own a Japanese copy of Einhander anyway, but it's one of those games that's a little bit overrated if you ask me. But anyway, Fatal Fury, Fear Effect Disc 1 and 2, goes up to 4 discs, Final Fantasy 7, 1 and 2, or 3 discs, Gran Turismo, Gran Turismo 2, Grand Theft Auto 2, Grandia, Hogs of War, In the Hunt, which we like your Metal Slug games. It's done by the same creators in Hunt. Jersey Devil, Jumping Flash, Medieval 1 and 2, Mega Man 8, Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 discs, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, Nuclear Strike, Rapper, Parasite Eve 1 and 2, Parasite Eve 2, Road Racer, Rascal, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil first one, Director's Cut, Ridge Racer Revolution, Rival Schools, 1 and 2 discs, Silent Hill, Spider, Spyro Dragon 3, 2 and 1, Street Fighter Alpha 2, Street Fighter Collection 2, Street Fighter Alpha Warrior's Dream, Street Fighter Alpha 3, 1, Track 1 and Track 2, that must be discs. Street Fighter Collection, Disc 1 and 2, Street Fighter X, EX2 Plus, a lot of Street Fighter basically. Strikers 1945, classic shooter, Capcom. And, Psycho, I think, did that together, I think they did. Tekken 2, Tekken 3, Tenchu 2, Tenchu Theme Park, Tomb Raider 1 and 2 and 3, Twisted Metal 1 and 2, Vagrant Story, Warhammer, Wipeout 3, Countdown Vampire Disc 1. Don't know why it's so physically different location to Disc 2, but never mind. Resident Evil 2 and 3. So that's the PS1 games, and it's basically to burn a PS1 game, you just put a disc in and you go in the option menu and you can either play a disc or you can burn the ISO to the hard drive, which is, a good way of adding PS1 games. And to be honest, PS1 games, and I think they're relatively quite small. I think they're about 400 megabytes if I remember rightly, so you can get quite a few on your system. I think it's that small. I could be wrong, but it's not large. So it's different to PS3 games, and that's where you'll need your external hard drive more than anything else. Just ignore these emulators. Let's go down to the actual games itself on the PS3. In total, I have on my hard drive I have 90 PS3 games, and what you have to bear in mind also is that when you burn the PS3 games, it sort of burns a copy of a disc onto your hard drive, and when you go in to play it, it sort of installs that same disc in the particular location of the original PS3 Xbox media bar. So you will need a spare, I would say about 40 gigs of memory on your PS3 console itself to install those games. After, even though you're installing it from your external hard drive or whatever. Most PS3 games are about, I would say, 7 to 15 gigabytes in size, but some are close to 40, and some are even as small as like 1 gigabyte, surprisingly. So they do vary massively in size. So let's go through the PS3 games I've got anyway. So I've not gone again. I've got about 90 PS3 games, which is a small percentage of my library of PS3 games. And I was more not went for the exclusives and ones that I would like to own on the system, which I don't necessarily already have on my modded Xbox. And the more interesting games that I definitely want to play, and if they're no good, I'll just delete them off the hard drive as I play them. So a Keeper's Strip, which is a bit of a rude fighting game of sorts, I suppose. So is Wrath, Telltale Back to the Future game. I love these Telltale games. Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 2 and Battlefield 1. Bayonetta, you have to have Bayonetta, haven't you? Beyond Two Souls. Binary Domain. Bioshock 1 and 2 and Infinite, the complete edition. Blur, PS3. Borderlands, a prequel, sequel. I'll probably, as I delete games, will put the main Borderlands games on here as well, but to save space, I'll not put them on yet. I do have them on my Xbox, modded Xbox anyway, so I don't really have to have them, but I've got that one here anyway. Bulletstorm, Cloud Geass Blaze, a good shooter. Captain America, Super Soldier, quite a missed game by a lot of people, I would say. Castlevania 2, Lords of Shadow, and First Lords of Shadow, Catherine, Conan the Barbarian. I think I'm a bit curious by this game. I own it, but I've not played it yet. Crisis 2 and Crisis 3, Dante's Inferno, sort of God of War clone type. Dead Space, the first one, 2, and 3. As you can see, the interface for PS3 games, obviously it's a PS3 console, it's much, much more interesting, isn't it, than what you can get for your PS2 and PS1 games on the system. It's more in line with what you used to seeing on your RetroPie, isn't it? But obviously, you can't play these games on that system yet. No doubt the RetroPie version, 20 or whatever in the future will play these more powerful games. But for now, a modded PS3 console is the way to go. Deadly Premonition, Deadpool, Deception 4 Blood Ties, Diablo, Reapers of Souls Edition, Doom 3 BFG, Drakengard, one of the later PS3 games will be released, DuckTales Remastered, Earth Defense Force 2025. There's another Earth Defense Force which I got physically as well, but to be honest, I will put that on one day when I find it. Godzilla, Heavy Rain, Ico and Shadow of the Colossus games. Another shooter, Ketsui Kizuna Jikoko Tachi, another cave shooter. Kick-Ass 2, another often missed PS3 game by a lot of people. I think it was like a European exclusive edition, which I got from Spain. Killer is Dead, Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. This is one large game. It's about 40 gigs of memory. Lollipop Chainsaw, Suda 21, classic. Metal Gear Rising, Revenge, Metal Gear 4, Metal Gear Solid HD Collection, Metal Gear Solid 5, and 5 of Phantom Pain, Minecraft Story Mode. I've got all the Telltale games basically on the system that were bought out on the system. Call of Duty 4, you've got to have your Call of Duties, haven't you? But that's a Modern Warfare 1, so 4, and Modern Warfare 2, and Modern Warfare 3, Monkey Island Definitive Special Edition, Murder Soul Suspect, No More Heroes, another Suda 21 game, Odin Sphere, One Shibaga Zekuruga with yeah, another smutty fighting game, why not? PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, really a beautiful game. Portal 2, Renko Tsutsumi Longest Day, another Suda 21 game. Resistance 2, 3 and 1. You have to have those Resistance games, I think, if you got a modded PS3. They're such good shooters. Shadows of the Damned, that's another Suda 21 game, I believe. Silent Hill Collection. I know these ports have been highly criticised, and play on the PS2, which is probably what I'll do. Sonic Sega All Stars Racing, Star Trek, probably mediocre, so it's probably one I'll delete after I've played it. Star Wars Force Unleashed, I'm pretty good at it, I enjoyed that, and the second one, I still need to play that yet, that's on my list. Street Fighter 4, Tales from the Borderland, the PS3 edition, I do believe, was an American exclusive. We did not get that in Power Territories. I'm pretty sure that's the case, so I've imported that. It came out on the PS4 over here, but not on the PS3. Anyway, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that's a Nickelodeon game, and more of an anime type game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants Manhattan. Chronicles of Riddix, PS3 updated version, HD version of the Xbox game. The Last Guy, another quirky Japanese game. The Last of Us, classic. Legend of Spyro, Dawn of the Dragon, the only Legend of Spyro game on the system, I believe. Quite an expensive game by many standards. The Simpsons game, I've not played this yet, even though I'm a big Simpsons fan. I don't know why I haven't. It's just, other games have taken priority, I suppose. The Walking Dead games, 1 and 2, Season 2, The Wretched 100 Night, I've not played that yet. Wolf Among Us, another Telltale, I have played that, that's very good. Tower Guns, a very short shooting type game, quite a small file. I think this is one that's close to 1 gigabyte in size. Uncharted games, these are big games too, as you can imagine. 1, 2 and 3, I've played all those on the PS4. What to say, they are classic games for to play, and if you've not played those, hurry up and do it. Enjoy them, they are so good. Under Defeat HD Deluxe Edition, saying that some of those games, they do have some tricky bits of some bits you do need to walk through to get past to a certain stage, because there's a way of defeating baddies which are quite difficult. I can't remember if it's 2 or I think it's 2. The game gets a bit tricky towards the end half. Most of it's fine, but there's a stage when you're on a train, you got to get past these baddies, and unless you know how to do it, it's really difficult. If you play the game, you know what I mean. But anyway, Under Defeat HD collection, another good classic helicopter shooting game. Wipeout HD Fury, Wolfenstein: The New Order. This is a good Wolfenstein game, and then there's the first Wolfenstein that came before that on the PS3, which is not so good. I've not played it, but I'm willing to give it a try anyway. Obviously, the original Wolfenstein came back in the Doom era, so you probably on PC and stuff. But and I do have those on SNES, and even got an old version on the Atari Jaguar, believe it or not. But anyway, I digress. Young Justice and another sort of uncommon PS3 game that doesn't get much love. And that's pretty much it really on the PS3 games. My 1 terabyte hard drive external is pretty full. But I think there's a few games I'd like to add on there when I found them. I got a War Games, which God knows where they are in my game room, but I couldn't find them. But I played all those anyway. So yeah, I think it's quite a nice setup, really. If you ask me. So yeah, the machine itself was, like I said, it was about £166, £10 for the carbon fibre skin, which I put on it just to make it look a bit different, stand out a little bit. Stand was about £6, and a 1 terabyte hard drive, quite a Seagate, quite decent one, was about £30 as well. So probably about £200 this console sent me back, and I've installed the PS3 games myself. Just gone through my collection and burnt them to it, so that took quite a few hours to see at least. But it's a nice setup if you ask me, and I highly recommend owning one. But like I said before, if you do have an external hard drive, just for safety purposes, do get an extension lead with some sort of power battery, power bank built in. Should you get a power cut, because it can corrupt your connection to your external hard drives, and if you do that, that means you've got to reinstall all these bloody games, which is a bit of a nightmare. So not something you would wish to choose to do often, or if at all. So yeah, just be mindful of that if if all your devices out there, guys. If you've not thought about it before, because like me, how often do you get power cuts? Very rarely. Like I said, I've not had one for about 5 years until like a couple of weeks back. So, but if it does happen and you're on your game console, it can really do some serious problems. So just be mindful. Okay, guys, that's it for my pickups video for today. I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks for supporting the channel, and as always, thumbs up if you don't mind. And I'll see you in the new year. And take care. Bye.